Good day everyone! For today's video, we will explore the assessing learning outcomes and reporting feedbacks and teacher skill and connection to community. Activity 5 focus on Domain 5. Assessment and reporting. Assessment is an inevitable part of the teaching learning processes. It determines the effectiveness of the curriculum. At the same time, it assesses, evaluates the learner's performance. There are different assessment tools that can be utilized throughout the process where feedbacks are thrown. In this activity, the FS student will be engaged in varied opportunities which will help them understand better the assessment process. The list below are all forms of assessment tools used by the teacher we observe. In assessment for learning, we have self-assessment, quiz, questioning or recitation, and giving feedback of teachers for the student's performance. In assessment as learning, we have group performance tasks and individual performance tasks, while in assessment of learning, we have quarter examination. Which of the above listed assessment are formative in nature? Self-assessment, questioning, quiz, and giving feedback to the student performance are formative in nature because these are types of assessment that are conducted by the teachers to improve their teaching pedagogies, and it aims to monitor the progress of the students.
Quarter examination and group and individual performance tasks are summative in nature because these are usually used at the end of the learning process. The table below are intended learning outcomes projected by the teacher in the assessment activity that supports intended learning outcomes. In intended learning outcomes and objectives number 1, we have utilize language to evoke emotional and intellectual response from the readers. In assessment activity, the traditional is number 1. The teacher gave a group activity entitled Fran to evoke emotion. In non-traditional are not being observed. In number 2, in intended learning outcomes objectives, pick creative ideas from past and present experiences. In traditional, not being observed. And the non-traditional is the teacher asks question how they can relate a true friendship. Next, number 3, the intended learning outcomes objectives, use language that relates to the senses. In assessment activity, in traditional, in number 3, the traditional assessment is not being observed. In non-traditional is the teacher let the students to understand the instructions at the board.
What guidelines on test construction and art of questioning did the teacher consider in each assessment activity? In the test construction, the teacher used multiple choice method. We base it when they conduct item analysis. While for the art of questioning, the teacher asks a student if they are still remember the lesson they had discussed last time. Ma'am Graciela Marimonta was the teacher we interviewed. She teaches social sciences subject at Infanta Integrated School. The students' grades are divided into core subjects and specialized subjects. Core subjects are divided into 3 categories: written works, quarterly exam, and performance task. Written works is worth 25%. Quarterly exam is 25%, while the performance task is 50%. In a specialized subject, quarterly test is 30%, written works is 25%, and the 45% is the performance task. Written works include seat work, quizzes. Performance tasks are activities that a student must complete, and quarterly assessment are examinations. Ma'am Graciela Monta, on the other hand, reports her student grades to their parent card. Ma'am Monta will report them on their children's behavior, attitude, and performance.
Question number 1. Why there is a need to evaluate learning? It is very important to evaluate the learning of the student for the teacher to know if they are improving in different fields of competency. Evaluating is also the best way on how to test the student on what they learned throughout the whole discussion, semester, or even the whole year. Evaluating learning is also one of the key to examine and observe the student's strengths and weaknesses, where the teacher is able to focus more on what the student need to improve and develop. Question number 2. Do teachers need to record the result of formative and summative assessment? Why or why not? As a matter of fact, our answer would be yes, due to the reason that assessment is the integral part of instruction, because this serves as one of the fundamental aspects in education, which measure the student learning improvement. Through the use of formative and summative assessment, it gives direction in achieving the school goals and objectives. In formative assessment, the teacher can demonstrate attentive questioning toward learners through oral recitation. On the other hand, summative assessment could help teacher to formulate test questioning prior to the teacher existing exam. Question number 3. In the assessment that was administered, do you think the teacher prepared the table of specification? Elucidate your answer. The teacher used a different approach in giving assessment, which students are able to participate actively. Task has been provided during the assessment, where the teacher is able to know the scope and delimitation of assessment procedure and identify the hardest and lowest points. The teacher also determined to know differences when it comes to score point of his learners. Question number 4. How did the teacher align the tasks in the assessment tools with the intended learning outcomes? Sir Billy always think of an assessment tools that suitable to learners as well as with the learning outcomes before he give the task to his learners. He always aligning the assessment with the learning outcomes by simple making connection with the real world while considering the multiple intelligence of the learner to ensure that the student understand how their progress will be measured. Question number 5. Did the teacher use the scoring rubrics to evaluate the student performance? Describe how it was utilized. Sir Billy mentioned that he always used scoring rubrics in evaluating the performance of his student. Sir Billy used scoring to facilitate performance that is related on the task rubrics so that he can objectively measure the learner's performance based upon the set of criteria on the scoring rubrics. Question number 6. Did the learners encounter difficulty in answering the teacher question? Expand your answer. Definitely, most of the learners had encountered difficulties in answering some question during the discussion because of the stoppage in the classroom learning during the pandemic that leads to the changes in educational system that interfered themselves in cognitive growth and development. There are some instances that we have seen few students who are being called by the teacher during the class discussion that cannot answer the simple question about recalling the previous lesson. Question number 7. Did the teacher encounter challenges during the computation and reporting of grades to parents? Justify your answer. Sir Billy said that the computation of the grades became easier because the E-class record provided by the DepEd wherein they just input the score of their student and their grade will automatically appear. When it comes to reporting of grades to parents, Sir Billy said that the traditional way of reporting it to the parents are still implemented, or the so-called guard day.
As a millennial, assessment is not just for a student but also for the teacher to assess him or herself the way he or she teaches. Assessment allows teachers to determine what are the best things to do. As a future educator, I can eliminate the fear of assessment of my students by simply motivating them because today's generation we live in a world where technology is most needed, and during this time of pandemic, we are even more tested. The new normal mode of teaching is hard not just for the students but also for the teachers. But what we need to do is to innovate and cope with it. The solution that I could offer to address the challenges and evaluating students' performance and giving feedbacks are assessing students' performance can involve assessment that are informal or informal and individual or collective. In short, for me, teachers should be very responsible and meticulous in assuring how learners are gaining knowledge, considering the differences their learning capacity. Here is the DepEd sample computation of grades uses in assessment guidelines.
Activity 6 will include lecture in the form of a seminar workshop. It will focus on community linkage, teachers' personal and professional attributes and development, and the importance of their involvement to research and extension activities. The 21st century skills of a teacher, which now he or she engages in, develop and possess will be given emphasis. Here are the results of the interview that we gathered from Ma'am Graciela Monta. First is the personal attributes. Ma'am Graciela Monta is very patient and dedicated to her students. She also has a sense of humor. She also has empathy and patience to her student and skills in communication. Next is the professional attributes, where she can work under pressure and can collaborate well to her colleagues, and dedicated and really put her best to her assigned task. Then, Ma'am Graciela Monta Awards received. She is an SSG Advisor Regional winner of Gawad Siklab Macatao 2017, SSG Advisor Division winner Macajos 2018, and National Qualifier and Best Teacher on World Teachers Day district level. Now, let's move on to the research conducted by Ma'am Graciela Monta, which is the socio-economic impact and education among poor peace recipients at Infanta Integrated School. Last are the extension activities of Ma'am Graciela Monta. She is the coordinator of bloodletting activities in IIS, coordinator of charity group at St. John Evangelist Church, and the coordinator of school pantry during pandemic. Give at least 5 social rules and function of a teacher. Describe how they are done. The first social rule of a teacher is a community leader and advocate. A teacher's life is not limited to the 4 walls of the classroom or the confines of the school site because he or she can also be a community leader. Next, a second parent. They not only teach lessons, but they also teach you in life. Then, professional. A teacher must gain knowledge and abilities in his or her field of instruction as a professional. Then, guidance counselor. A teacher assists and advises students about academic and personal discussions. Last is a teacher is a motivator. A teacher is a motivator to encourage student interest and motivation. Ma'am Graciela Marimonta conducted her research entitled Socio-Economic Impact and Education Among Purpose Recipients of Infanta Integrated School. This research is about the beneficial of the purpose to the study of the student. Ma'am Monta seeks permit to conduct her research to the division, principal, colleague, students, and parents. This research had 300 respondents. Ma'am Graciela Monta was the yearly coordinator of bloodletting activity at Infanta Integrated School, project by Regional Medical Center. She encouraging everyone to donate blood and she itself is donating too. Furthermore, she is also the coordinator of charity group at St. John Evangelist Church, which they giving food packs and necessities to the victims of natural disasters. During pandemic, she also coordinates school pantry to the school to provide families affected by pandemic. Does school community engagement influence the educative process? justify your answer. Yes, because the involvement of the community in school management has been shown to increase accountability for both learning outcomes and school resources. Participation in curriculum development, which ensures cultural relevance of subject content and teaching styles, leads to a broader embrace of the educational process. Furthermore, community engagement can assist in meeting students' social, emotional, and physical health needs while also providing meaningful, real-world learning opportunities. How would you report achievement or result to the bigger community? The report card will serve as a guide for parents and even the community to understand what is going on in a student's education. The report card will show whether or not they are improving. The community can assist them with that they require, such as facilities, financial needs, books, and so on. How do personal and professional skills of a teacher help in preparing his or her task and function? The teacher personal and professional skills will be an investment and the foundation for his or her teaching journey. It is necessary for a teacher to have accomplishment in order to be more equitable in providing assistance in the teaching and learning process of the students.
As a future teacher, we should establish good school community by planning an effective collaboration that give people a voice to develop a vision which can establish clear rules and responsibilities, engaging a joint professional development and blending school and community in a specific way. Inviting them to develop friendly policies that encourage participation to the diverse stakeholders, providing professional development, which teachers and families are engaged in school community projects, having a training for the stakeholders to help them communicate and develop partnership.
Attending seminars, webinars, and conferences is another way to improve your teaching abilities and enhance someone's personal and professional development. Teachers are lifelong learners. After completing a four-year bachelor's degree, it is necessary to enroll in a master's and doctoral degree program to continue your professional development. Learning from your daily experiences as a teacher will also allow you to be more adaptable and resourceful in your personal development.